Yes, I know I said we were going to look at Clear this week, but then I found something more interesting to talk about. I guess a mini review here for the original intended subject would be fitting though. So Clear is a 2D survival horror game which doesn't really horror properly, feels outdated as hell to play, and the voice acting certainly isn't doing the game any favours. Art style is nice enough though, I'll give it that. Thing is, each time I tried to play it, 10 minutes later I would get bored and wander off. As if I got off the sofa. I mean that figuratively, I would fire up Demon Souls or something and have some fun. Still, I needed something for this week, and I regret waiting until Saturday afternoon to choose a replacement. Usually by Wednesday I've chosen the game for the coming week, thus giving myself ample time to, play it. So disclosure time, I have not finished this week's game yet. We'll get to where I am exactly in the main body of this review, and we'll also explain why I'm not as far along as I'd like to be. Of course, this could change. I wrote this introduction on the 11th of October, so we'll see. Maybe future Ronica will come by and correct this.
Another option is not writing the review until you've got more playtime under your belt.
Me.
Yeah, real mature.
I know I usually put a content warning at the beginning in that first little slide, but I'm just gonna do another one here. There's gonna be blood and gore and stuff, so if that's not the sort of thing you want to see, I advise you maybe just don't watch this, or just keep it as listenable. That'll work. Anyway, let me recount my vast experience with the Resident Evil franchise.
Wait, I don't remember you playing me.
Yeah, me neither. Well, they sure as hell didn't touch me, see? Well, they played me a little. Lucky bastard. I think we all know what they meant when they said experience with Resident Evil. The movies. They're talking about the movies. Bloody typical.
Yep, that's true. My entire experience with the Resident Evil games can best be summed up as 2 hours of playing Resident Evil 4. Maybe not even that, it was many years ago at this point. The rest of my knowledge comes from me watching the highly questionable movies, but to be fair, Resident Evil games, you didn't have a naked Mila Jovovich.
Damn, they got us there.
I have a very, very basic understanding of the lore in these games, but to be fair, that's more than you really need to play Resident Evil 7, as on its own, it stands as a very effective survival horror game. How does it achieve this? Well, grab a 12 gauge and as many healing herbs as you can stick up your bum, and let's go find out, shall we?
The herb doesn't go in the butt.
If you enjoy these videos, then don't forget to like, leave a comment and subscribe for future videos. If you want to, you can support the channel further by going to patreon.com/RonicaReviews and pledging £1 a month, which will help me to keep building the channel and bringing you content, and it will also get you some nifty benefits. You'll get 24 hours early access to new reviews, a shout out at the end of videos, and you'll get to suggest new games for me to cover. But what if you want something more tangible back for your support? Then you want to head over to ronicareviews.teamor.com to get yourself some merch. We have several t-shirts for you to browse, a couple of tote bags, and even a jigsaw puzzle. Also, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter if you'd like. You'll find links to everything here in the description below. Now, on with the video. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard follows a man named Ethan Winters, who receives a message from his thought-to-be-dead wife who disappeared in the state of bumfuck Louisiana. Sorry, the state of Dulvey. I just wanted to say bumfuck. Not long after arriving, Mr. Winters is kidnapped by the Beverly Hillbillies, only instead of the motive of buggering each other until the wee hours of the morning, they spend their time killing and eating people. They're also quite literally mutated monsters and don't seem to know how to stay dead. Come on, guys, it's not that hard. Here, Vera will show you. God damn it, stay out of the armory.
Well, stop trying to shoot me.
You know I can't make that promise. At the time of writing this paragraph, this one right now that you're hearing me speak, I've not beaten this man, Jack. Again, I can only hope that future Ronica comes back in time to fix this. Just as long as they're done saving the future from the Daleks. Well, I just assume we're overdue for an invasion. Until then, this review will consist of the first couple of areas. Now, the main roadblock in me not being able to get further is the fact that, again, I started this game about 3 days later than I should have.
And the other reason is that you're a giant wussbag who cannot handle horror games.
This is also true. I won't lie to you, viewer, RE7 managed to effectively scare me on more than one occasion, not just for its use of some genuinely well-placed jump scares, but simply through the way we're stalked by the bad guys. Hiding in the shadows, praying to my personal lord and saviour Pepsi Man that Jackie Boy wouldn't get a whiff of my ever-growing pile of fecal matter was far more tense than even 100 phone calls. See last week's video if you need that line to make sense. Now, it is possible to fight back in this game, however it's extremely ineffective for the most part. Jack, and to my understanding the other members of the Baker family, are incredibly resilient and tend tend to mutate when taking damage, making subsequent encounters all the more terrifying. Occasionally you'll need to engage in fisticuffs, or better yet put several rounds into the head of the offending monster, but a good tactic is to avoid combat when possible by doing a sneaky sneak. Jack, for example, seems to move a lot faster when not directly observed. I'm guessing that one of his parents was a weeping angel, and if you turn to leg it, he'll grab you and do some nasty damage that you can't really seem to avoid. If you shoot him enough times or stab him plenty, he will be incapacitated, but this is only a temporary safety, and you'll still not feel safe or comfortable walking around the house knowing that he could appear at any minute. So again, whilst combat is possible, you are being encouraged to avoid it when you can. This is all, in my mind, what survival horror is all about. Feeling like you're being watched as you creep around a cramped environment, still not sure what's really going on, and knowing full well that something could jump out of the nearest closet at any minute to snack on your tits. The game does also do puzzles well enough. They're mostly just find weirdly shaped keys to open door X, but some of them are clever enough and actually rely on the player to engage their thinking organ. In most males at least, I believe this is located within the head of the penis. Some puzzles do simply require the player to interact with an item more than once, and some are, in actuality, very straightforward. But if you're constantly afraid that a horny hillbilly is going to leap out of nowhere and give you an unwanted enema with his very large axe, don't ask me how that works, I didn't think that one through, then it's easy to make mistakes and overlook things. I missed a prompt to open a book several times because I was so paranoid that at any minute a giant axe could slam into me from behind. Also, I'm fully aware that what he's using at this moment in the footage isn't an axe. I don't know what it's called. On top of everything else, the game offers the player a very limited inventory space, and unless ammo that you have is actually inside your gun, holding it will take up a slot in your inventory, and this adds another layer of worry to proceedings. Will you be able to pick up the next healing item that you need, or will you need to save space for a vital story item? Can you make it back to the safe room to store everything without someone nibbling your knees off? Should you just use an item now to make some space, or see if anything can be combined to make both a more effective tool and some extra room to carry the various keys in? If you cast your mind back to last week, I spoke about Close to the Sun, a game that wanted to be a survival horror but forgot the survival and the horror, and was kinda shit. There was no resource gathering, no real stealth elements, and all the monster encounters were reduced to some measly chase scenes, which were about as tense and exciting as a modern episode of Family Guy. In comparison, Resident Evil 7 is an almost perfect how-to guide when it comes to making a survival horror game, with only a very few features at time of writing being worthy of criticism. First off, the block function is unreliable. Of course, it could be said to add further scares in combat and to further discourage the player from engaging in battle when they really don't need to, so I won't hold this one against the game. There are moments where it's quite clearly telegraphed where the monsters are going to happen, typically after you find a key item that you need to progress, which is a shame. I liked the more organic game of cat and mouse around the house, but still, I guess it could lead to thrills. My biggest real complaint though revolves entirely around the monster things, which look like this. They're not particularly scary, and if you're a better shot than I am, which shouldn't be too difficult, 3 bullets to the head will take them down. Also, a single shotgun shell to the face will take them down, and unlike the bakers, they're too lazy to get back up, they stay dead. They move slowly, and after you've discovered them, it's almost painfully obvious where you'll encounter them next, because the room will be covered in monster dookie. I get the impression that they were only included for the sake of allowing the player to use their weapons more, but I say they're more detrimental to proceedings, as the very real fear of being stalked by an immortal monster of a man is completely undermined when we get a look at these walking piles of excrement.
Wow, 3 poo jokes in one video. How do you ever reach such levels of creativity?
Hey now, I'm pretty anal about my creative process, and I won't take any sort of smearing from anyone.
Stop. No one is laughing.
I thought it was kind of funny.
Oh, you're just saying that because they've actually been playing a PS5 game on you this week in between the sessions of RE7.
What can I say? The gender trash knows quality when they see it.
Also, you're holding the game hostage.
That too.
So at the time of typing this paragraph, is what I'm saying to you right now, not the previous one that I was saying to you not long ago, this one right now, and this is the last chance for future Ronica to arrive in their time machine and make me look like a twat. I've only gotten to the encounter with Jack in the room where he tries to chainsaw us. When I say chainsaw, I guess he's also a fan of Kill la Kill because he's made them into some dangerous scissors to take a little off the top with, the top being our fucking head. It's hard to really justify reviewing a game when I've got so much more to see, but I will keep playing it because the early sections have been the fucking best. The fact that I frequently had to stop playing because I was too tense to continue at times is a point in the game's favour, I think. I can't speak to how the game holds up as a Resident Evil game, again me having maybe 2 hours of experience with only one time title. 2 hours that I barely remember. I remember leaving a girl in a bin and shooting a peasant farmer in the face, but my last 4 blackouts started in a very similar fashion. My lawyer has once again reminded me to shut the fuck up. My point is, I have no sodding idea how it compares to the other titles. I do, however, possess the capacity to judge the game on its own merits as a horror experience, and in this area, it earns a big fat gold star from me. I only regret not trying it sooner. I might even have a go with Resident Evil Village once all is said and done. Still, those are my thoughts at time of writing about Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Good horror game with an intense atmosphere that is 100% worth checking out. Now I'm gonna go play some more.
They lied. They went back to playing Demon's Souls.
Hey, I pressed the icon by accident.
And when you realise that, you shut the game down, right?
Shut up. Still, I needed something for this week, and I regret waiting until Saturday afternoon to choose a replacement. Usually by Wednesday of the week, I've got for the chosen coming game work. Oh dear. So disclosure time, I've not finished this week's game yet. We'll get to a time where I'm exactly body reviewing of the main.
Look, I think we all know what they meant when they said experience with Resident Evil.
Yep, it's true. My experience with the Resident Evil games can best be summed up with a blah. Please stop.
Another option is not writing the review until you've got... Oh, fuck you, slag cunt.